film production vendor list. The first episode, we kind of just recapped how this sheet works with the data input, then goes to the cleaner, and then goes to the testing page, and then goes to the proof of concept, which is the final product. But today I'm actually going to be getting some more ancillary work done. So I'm going to start off by, I guess, cleaning up the input page and making it a little bit nicer. And then hoping in the next episode I can maybe get into more of the coding on the cleaner page. So I'm going to take it step by step. But for a short recap, what goes on is I go ahead and input the information for a vendor in this list. So boom, 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 right here. Like, for example, this is a template. So I input their information here, and I suggest here whether or not I want to add them to the vendor list. It takes all the information from all these inputs, goes to the cleaner here, cleans up this info slightly by either capitalizing all of these departments, lowercasing all the emails, changing the contacts to also proper formatting for a capital for the first name and capital for the last name, and then also just, uppercasing all of these things, which I think you can see up here. Yeah, you can see this one is puts everything in caps. This one puts everything in a lower form. This one also puts everything in a lower form, and this one in caps, and this one in proper, and then this one in a specific format. And then after it kind of cleans or trims the data, so to speak, comes here to where it lists everything out in a line, and this is helpful. So for example, lists all the vendors out here in a line, and then it puts all of the information that's next to each other into this beautifully looking cell with some other standout details that will help with a later query. So once this is laid out and all the information is kind of put into nice little boxes, it then retransfers that data here so that it can essentially put everything in alphabetical order. As you can see here, it basically puts all of these ones in alphabetical order by the department. It goes, okay, look at these, and put it in alphabetical order by this column first, and then by this column second. And then, of course, once this finds out, put the office number, whatever the office number is here. But that's the general flow of the sheets. So today I'm going to be working more on the specifics. I apologize if people are kind of jumping in. This is a spreadsheet that I've made a couple years back, and I'm just going to improve upon it. So if you guys want more specific questions of how the workflow goes with existing code, I'm more than happy to explain in the comments or just offline. So, but I'm going to start today with the data input sheet because there's a lot of data that I would like to track that I haven't been able to track as we've been going. So yeah, I'm going to start here. I think one of the things I want to do is work on this column and just cleaning it up. It looks nice, I guess, but it just looks a little bit crazy for me here. So I think what I first want to do is simplify the categories the second cleaner page will actually clean all this data for us. But I think I want to make it a little bit easier on the inputs for people when they are doing it. So now that I have this, I'm going to insert, drop down, and now this should all be proper, correct, and I think, I wonder if I can make all of these just automatically by alphabetical order. That would be nice. Let's see if there's an advanced option to make these already in alphabetical order. I don't think so, which is a little bit unfortunate. Yeah. Either way, I think this is a good starting point. You've got a lot of them, and maybe we can just leave it here for now. Yeah, this is good, and then they can just choose. Yep, that looks good to me. Electric grip, and then, okay, this is locations, now this is just production, and I think, honestly, I think I'm going to make a settings page for this. This seems a little too complicated, so you know what I'll do is, I will make a budget settings page. I usually try not to stray away from them, but, sorry, not a budget spreading page, but a spreadsheet settings page. So I'll do vendor list settings. Okay. And so now what I'll do is I will take this. I'm gonna take that, put it over here, pop it here, and if I'm just gonna do it like this for now, and I'm gonna get rid of all these rows. Oops. Sorry, you can also hear me just slapping my trackpad to try to get this through. Okay. Let's unique this row. Boom. And then let's also upper this entire thing. Upper, boom. Array formula. Done. Okay, and then we'll take all this here, and what I'll do also is, if you notice, there's a little bit of second unit in here, and so I think I'm gonna take out the second units right now. And yeah, there's some of these that, like, I don't think standard we need. But maybe for others, so like video, I'm gonna take out video for now, and I'm gonna take out stages for now. Security, fine, props, post, marine, grip, locations, employer, I'm gonna take out. I'm just gonna put this now as I'm gonna put this department selector, and then I'm gonna put a row below this. That's an explanation row. That's gonna be, please add, please plus add, remove minus the following list for the data input column. Please add remove. I'm gonna do the symbols just so that people know. For the following list, I'm gonna put it in alphabetical order, and I'm gonna put this as bold for the comment. Boom. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this text a little bit bulkier so that people don't have to really mess around. Okay, and then what I'll do here is, now that we have this, oh, I think I have two grip departments. But this will populate the drop-down menu for the data input column. And let's make this slightly bigger, of course, and give it a little more space. There we go. And I'm just going to give it one more row above, and we'll just copy this. Boom, right there. Great. I think that looks good. You know, you can add some more columns here. I think that'll just work out perfectly fine. So now, if I go back to data input here, I'm actually going to delete all of these. And you know, we have way too many vendors here right now. I don't need to work with all of these. So I'm actually going to delete like half of them. I'll just delete like this much. It's like way too many to be working with. So let's do like this much because right now it's too many. So we'll do like this much. That looks good to me. Delete this and delete all of this as well right now. And I'm just gonna drop it down. I'll leave this one. Okay, so for departments, we're gonna delete this, and I'm gonna do a insert drop-down menu from range, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna click this one so that it pops up a data range, and then we'll go to the budget settings, and I'm gonna make a pick from this whole range. That looks good to me. So press OK, boom. And now everything should be in order. So that way now when I go back here, and I'm going to take this down about all of them, when I click, everything should be in order, and everything will continuously be updated in order, which is really good. Okay, and then I realized here the phone numbers should be highlighted yellow if it's missing, so I'm gonna check out if this conditional formatting also makes sense. Okay, so it's just saying if one of those is empty, so I'm gonna expand that to H5, I believe. So boom. So now I think if I still type in something, yeah, it will change just that column, which is perfect. I want that to be known that all of them are empty. So department here, okay, this heli basket. I think that's, wait, camera and drone are not alphabetized. What's going on here? Let me see if this is sorted correctly. Okay, perfect. There, it's done now, and now I think it should be sorted. Done. Perfect. Okay. So that's perfect. Heli basket is aerial. This Jason is going to be locations. That looks good to me. Visible to vendor list, perfect. Cleaner buffer. Okay, so what is it going now? It's querying everything exactly, basically as is, which is good. I mean, I technically could clean it up and make it a little bit shorter, but am I? No. Okay. That's good, and then this visible thing is good. The phone number actually turned out good. letters into alphabetical order, kind of like a query, which would make more sense. Yeah, I just really wonder how I could attach something to each one individually, but yeah, that's maybe something else to think about. I'm thinking about like doing combos or additions to certain names, but it would be, maybe like hyphenating the first 3 letters of these, and then in the next one, when something shows up, it takes the first 3 letters of it and puts it down, and then puts a query next to it. So I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that in the new sense. But yeah, I'm gonna think that one through for the next video. But anyways, let me continue on this. Maybe a little more design feature. I don't really like, how spontaneous, how like old school this just template feels. I'm gonna keep this orange, but I think the first thing I'm gonna do is change this font, maybe to something a little more fun. And this I think is called Anaheim, which I do enjoy. I think it looks a little more cleaner. And then the next thing I think I want to clear out here is I want to see what this looks like with no borders, or just borders in general. I mean, that doesn't look terrible, but it's definitely just feels old school. So let me just change this to like, what if I just do none lines, or I do white borders? The white borders feels decenter, but I don't like that either. I think I'm gonna stick with the gray for now, but want to sign off for